We have a major update on Jon Moxley's AEW creative control. This, as speculation has been running rampant as to the reason why this Death Rider storyline has divided fans. Is it because Jon Moxley is indeed flexing his creative control backstage, as has been rumored? We're going to talk about what the truth is. We're going to break it down, what it means, all of that much more. We're also going to talk about major plans for WrestleMania 41 from Las Vegas, a match that many people did not expect to hear about or see coming, could be happening at the Showcase of the Immortals. All that much more coming up right here in this video, so be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, let's kick things off with AEW World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley, the head honcho of All Elite Wrestling, has been the centerpiece of the company over the last couple of months, ever since he defeated Bryan Danielson at AEW Wrestle Dream back in October. And the reign has been met with mixed feelings between fans. Some fans have liked the direction of the story, while others, myself included, have felt like we're getting to a point where at least something needs to be explained with the Death Rider story. And I will talk about my specific critiques in a second, but we do have an update about creative control. There's been a lot of speculation and a lot of innuendo that states that the reason why this story has gone on for as long as it has and has got the airtime that it has and has been as directionless as it has is because of Jon Moxley having creative control over the storyline and Tony Khan basically taking a back seat creatively. We have an update courtesy of FightfulSelect.com about that rumor. It says, quote, "That isn't true whatsoever. AEW has some general input from the talent on creative. RJ City works with the Death Riders on their creative, and then everything gets approved by Tony Khan." So Sean Ross Sapp and company putting it out there for everyone to see that that is not the case. It does not seem like Moxley's back there flexing all his creative control and saying, I'm going to leave the company and I'm going to breach contract, all that kind of stuff if you don't do X, Y, and Z. But it does seem to be a case where there's a lot of input from the Death Riders. But again, the process is always that Tony Khan is the head honcho and the final say in all creative. And as we know, Tony Khan has always been the final say in all creative for the better part of the past 5 years. I think December of 2019 is when he really took the reins from everyone. It used to be the case first couple of months, AEW's first year in 2019, that they had a booking committee that was made up of the EVPs and a few other people that were the ones who were doing the booking, doing the creative. And then Tony just kind of took the books and said, hey, let me be the final say. Let there be one vision here and let that vision kind of play out, and we'll see what happens. And I, for one, have had a lot of critiques about this Death Rider story. I genuinely believe that in the beginning, this story had a lot of hope. It had a lot of potential. And the seeds that they were planting along the way were some of the most interesting aspects of it. Why did Jon Moxley nearly murder his best friend in Bryan Danielson? Why would he go to such lengths to not only take the AEW World Championship away from Bryan, but then go to the lengths of nearly ending Bryan Danielson's career at Wrestle Dream? And while the idea of this meta storyline that Moxley is here to save AEW from itself and get these young guys to really get the best out of them and reach that next potential, reach that next gear, I should say, and their full potential that they were supposed to over the past 5 years, but didn't. I find the meta of that really cool and fascinating. The execution of this story has not been that, though. It has not been anything but cool. It has been anything but fascinating, especially the past couple of weeks. The past couple of weeks, especially the lead up to AEW World's End, it just feels like, okay, here is your mandatory Death Rider story. In many ways, it mirrors the Bloodline stuff in that it's kind of just another thing, another checklist on the show. Like, hey, we got to have a Bloodline segment. Nothing's going to fundamentally change. Nothing's going to fundamentally happen. Nothing's going to fundamentally advance, but here it is. That's how I feel about the Death Riders. And I've been saying this for a while now. I feel like we're still waiting for a clear-cut promo that outlines Moxley's motivations. Because it has been, and I say this with a lot of respect to Mox. I love Mox. I think he's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. This is like Bray Wyatt 2014 levels of rambling. This is like, you know, like just the most incoherent kind of stuff. It feels like a lot of this stuff is just like being fed to him from bad WWE creative. Like there's some of the stuff that's coming out of his mouth. And it's not like silly. It's just like that almost forced like viciousness and that forced anger and that forced like sense of you know, veracity that isn't real, that isn't rooted in anything, that isn't even rooted in story. And I think that, like, again, the potential was there. They just weren't able to execute it. And a lot of fans have been blaming Mox and have been saying that, you know, it's him flexing his creative control or whatever. And again, it's like a weird double-edged sword when we talk about AEW too, because like there's a lot of conversation about people wanting Tony Khan to, you know, take creative control away from himself, to let other people book the show, to hand off, you know, creative control, all that kind of stuff. And then like when stories come out about him doing that, or rumors, I should say, come out about him potentially doing that, people are like, oh man, this sucks. And then if he continues to book the show, oh man, this sucks. And look, there's plenty of stuff on AEW TV that I personally don't like, that as a fan and as an analyst I don't like. But at the end of the day, I think your arguments have to be consistent, right? And that's kind of where the discourse has always been with this, and why I haven't really taken too much of a part in it. I just think it's nonsensical. But another thing that's pretty nonsensical is this story at this point. I don't know what's happening. Put the belt on Kenny. Let's fix it all. Speaking of the belt, we got to get to our next story, and I also got to get to shilling the memberships, people. Memberships are back. You guys can become exclusive members on the channel. You guys can help support the channel, get access to exclusive member perks. That's emotes for the live streams. That includes access to the Real Take Vault, all of the stuff that's been hidden away, the video essays, all that kind of stuff hidden away. That's there for you to access. You get access to that. You get access to a whole bunch more. And you get replies, I should say, to your comments 48 hours after you posted them. Be sure to check that out. All right. As I said before, we are going to be talking about champions, and we're going to be talking about one champion in particular, that being Gunther, the WWE World Champion, because we have an update on his WrestleMania plans. It looks like Gunther will be facing Logan Paul at WrestleMania. This according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider. There have been creative pitches for Gunther versus Logan Paul for WrestleMania 41. Nothing is 100% locked in stone, but the idea has been pushed internally in creative circles. Cody versus Cena has also been pitched for Mania. As we know, there have been multiple reports from Dave and Sean and everyone at this point saying that Cody versus John Cena has basically been the working plan, or at least the idea that they were going with for WrestleMania for the past couple of weeks, if not months. But the question was, what was Gunther going to do? Was it going to be a Goldberg match, as Goldberg has teased that Gunther will likely be his final opponent? Would it be potentially a Seth Rollins match? Would Gunther even be the champion at this point? We don't know. And again, that report did not outline that match would be for the championship. So it's possible, very well possible, that Gunther could still lose the belt, and the World Championship match for Mania could be Roman versus Punk, as, again, that seems to be the plan and the direction for those two. So given that, I mean, Logan Paul is someone who has had a very weird past couple of months in WWE. He did that thing where on this podcast where he's like, I'm retired. I'm done with wrestling. And then he comes out and says, you never know what's going to happen. So it's just a matter of time before Logan Paul comes back to WWE, I think. And Gunther would be an interesting matchup. One thing for damn sure is you don't have Gunther lose to Logan Paul. If that does happen, you will see me start the agenda. Get Gunther out of WWE. It's cooked. If Logan Paul defeats him, I don't care if he cheats. I don't care if he does whatever, the brass knucks, whatever. If Logan Paul defeats Gunther at WrestleMania in any way, shape, or form, we need to have a massive conversation. That being said, I'm sure it'll be a fun little thing. And Gunther will slap the ever-living taste out of his mouth, which I personally will look very much forward to. But guys, let me know in the comments section below, is this a match you want to see? Is this the match you want to see Gunther having at WrestleMania? Let me know in the comment section what you would like to see him do at WrestleMania. Let me know what you guys want to see at WrestleMania in general. I'm really interested to hear y'all's thoughts. Also, I want to hear your thoughts on the whole Moxley situation. How do you guys feel about the Death Rider story? Is it cooking? Is it cooked? Let me know. And until next time, I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Appreciate all of you for tuning in so far, and thank you for making it this far, I should say, into the video. I appreciate all of y'all. Until next time, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Be happy, be healthy, and as always, people, keep it real. Bye.